Hey everybody, welcome back, and in this video today we're going to be covering my very first yellow Digimon deck profile. This was, I had the cards, or potentially the cards, to put together a yellow deck. Prior to this, I just didn't want to. I wanted my first yellow deck to be Shinegreymon, because I remember when I very first saw Shinegreymon, the card, before I even knew what the effect was, I was like, I'm going to build that because I love Shinegreymon. I love the Data Squad series. I think that's the name of the one that he debuted in. Feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong. But I always have really loved Shinegreymon, and he's getting another card soon in the red form where you can play a hybrid deck, and I'm really excited to play that. But anyway, guys, let's jump straight into this. I'm really excited to talk to you about Shinegreymon. So, this deck has a different approach to it than most decks. It plays a lot of Tamers. So the first thing we're going to cover is my Tamers. Well, after we cover eggs, I guess. So for eggs, unfortunately right now, I am having to play 4 Cupimon and then the 1 Tokomon. I don't have Upamon. I want to get, once I get Upamon, I will replace all 4 of the Cupimons with Upamon instead. Cupimon's ability is whenever it gives away the inheritable skill that whenever your Digimon attacks, if you have 5 or more security, you get to draw a card. Upamon is if you have 3 or less. Upamon, in my opinion, is just better because you're going to be at 3 or less a lot more than you're going to be at 5 or more. So, and then as for this 5th slot, I might slide 1 Cupimon over just for the lulz. I might keep Tokomon. I really don't know. Tokomon, though, if you don't know, is whenever one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping their DP to 0, your Digimon gets +1 for the turn. Not really that good, so this will probably be switched out with something else. But anyway, first, we're going to talk about Tamers. So the first thing is we play 4 copies of TK Takashi. I suck at trying to pronounce Japanese terms, don't laugh at me. So it is a 4 cost to play. He is very important for his first skill. Start a turn if you have 2 or less memory, set your memory to 3. Unfortunately, our boss is a 4 cost to evolve, so we need to make sure we're at least always at 3 so we can play him and then swing, or we'll have other things to gain more memory, but it's just important that we have at least that 3 memory just so we can play cards and actually conduct a turn. And then on play, you get to look at your security stack, put one of those cards into your hand, and then take the top card of your deck and place it in your security, and then shuffle your security. So, pretty much, you need to get this on the board as soon as possible. Next, we play 4 Kyrie Kamiya. 3 costs to play. Her skill is at the start of your turn. If you have 3 or less security, gain a memory, and that affects stacks. So you want to try and get as many of these on the board as possible, so you can start your turn with 5, 6 memory. It's very nice. And then for the last one, we play 2 of the starter deck TK. This just on your opponent's turn, all the Digimon in your security get +2. He's here mainly just to have another Tamer in the deck. It's 10 total. And they all share the ability. If they're flipped over in security, you get to play them for free. So it's they're pretty much Shinegremon's main. Well, actually, not just Shinegreymon. They are pretty. They're just very important to the deck. So you play more Tamers than you normally would. Next, we're going into level 3s. First, we're playing 4 of our boy Patamon. This Patamon, 3 play hard cost, but when on play, you get to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, and you get to add all yellow Tamer cards from among them into your hand, and then put the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So he's here just to help get that search out,
You play 10 Tamers, and half the reason for that is so when you play your Patamon, I say this, but when I've tested this deck recently, it never did much for me. In theory, you want to try and hope and get at least 1 to 2. But I've seen games where people have gotten incredibly lucky and they pull 3. Must be nice. Next, we play 4 copies of Agumon. And this Agumon, he gives away the inheritable skill is if you have 3 or more yellow Tamers on the field, when you attack, you get to draw a card. So that's nice. Continue the draw, search for the extra Tamers, search for your key combo pieces to help move you closer to controlling the board, because this is very, very much a control deck. Then we play 3 copies of the start deck Patamon. His ability is when your opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping their DP to 0, you gain +1 memory. So, if this is in your Digi-Evolution stack, when you evolve into Shinegreymon and you use his ability, you could potentially gain quite a bit of memory back. So, he's a very good card. And then we play 3 Labramon from the start deck as well. I think he came out of the start deck. Nope, he came from BT1. I lied. But he does essentially the same thing as Patamon does, except when on your turn and a Digimon is deleted by dropping their DP to 0, you get to draw a card as opposed to gain a memory. So, draw a card, gain a memory. And all your level 3s have a 3-play hard cost. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's hard to try and find a place to fit in your 2-cost hard drops, but there are certain cards you just need in this deck, and your space with playing your 10 Tamers is extremely limited. So, going into your level 4s, we play our 4 copies of Unionmon. There are some people who believe that you can cut Unionmon and not play a blocker anymore because of Shinegreymon. Me personally, you need him in case you don't draw your key pieces, because you can use him to kind of help stall and give you some time. And plus you can use this to protect your level 5s before you Digivolve into Shinegreymon, or he's just a good card. So you still need your blockers. Next, we play 4 copies of Geogreymon. Now, a lot of people don't play 4 copies of this card. Personally, I just really... I think it's a great card. Simply for the fact there are times where you might get one of your opponent's Digimon down real low, but you don't have enough to subtract the last 1,000 or 2,000 from it to kill it. Geogreymon is whenever your Digimon attacks, and he gives the skill away. If you have 3 or more Tamers on the field, which isn't hard to do, you get to select one of your opponent's Digimon and subtract 2,000 from it. So I like it simply for the more board control. And then for the last one, I played 2 copies of Anklomon. 5-play hard cost, 2 Digi-Evolution cost, but when he is slipped over in security at the conclusion of that battle, you get to play him for free. So, sometimes he comes in clutch. Next, we go to level 5s. I keep wanting to say size. I've been playing Vanguard way too long. Or Buddy Fight and Vanguard, I guess. Next, 4 copies of Rise Greymon. He is the best level 5 in the deck, obviously, for a lot of reasons. One, when you Digivolve into him, you get to play one of your Tamers in your hand for free. But if it has an on-play effect, it will not activate. So you really want to try and get your Kyries on the board with your Rise Greymons. If TK is your only choice, that's great, but you will not be able to use his ability where you get to look at your security. That only happens when, it's played, not when it's put on the field. So, and then, this, again, if this is your only option, you'll take it. But you really want to try and get your Kyries on the board with your Rise Greymon. And then his inheritable skill that he gives away is whenever your Digimon attacks, if you have 3 or more yellow Tamers, he gives away security attack +1. So he can make your Shinegreymon swing for 2. Very effective. Oh. Next, we play 2 copies of Angelwomon. Simply for the recovery option, her Digi-Evolution cost is 3, and when you Digivolve into her, if you have 3 or less security, you get to recover +1. So she is there to give you some sustainability. And then just 2 copies of Sirenmon, simply because it's a low-cost hard drop 5 if you need it. So if you're like in a rush to get a Shinegreymon on board, you can just go straight into drop Sirenmon, and hopefully she'll still be there on your next turn. Or if you have a buttload of memory, you can then just evolve straight into her. Next, level 6s. Obviously, we're playing 4 copies of our main man, Shinegreymon. So Shinegreymon, he has a 4 Digi-Evolution cost. He has 11,000 DP. On Digi-Evolution, you can suspend all of your yellow Tamers, and for each one you suspend, you get to take 4,000 DP from one of your opponent's Digimon. So if they have, 4 Digimon on board with 4,000 DP, and you have 4 Tamers when you Digivolve into them, you can rest all your Tamers and wipe your opponent's board. So he is a better version of Volcanic Dramon, almost. Volcanic Dramon, that's his name. I was trying to remember his name earlier, and I couldn't remember it. But he comes in, and he can wipe pretty much your opponent's entire board if you have a good setup. And then his other skill is, during your turn, he gets +1 for every Tamer that you have. So, you have 4 Tamers on board, then he gets +4,000 DP. So it's good to help protect him against pretty much anything that he runs into at that point except Omnimon. So if you're playing in red or blue, or now even black because of Alter S, you might run into him. But other than that, that pretty much guarantees him null ability when he goes into security. Of course, there are exceptions, like Trump Sword with purple and Gaia Force with red, but certainly gives him more protection. So, and then for the last 2 level 6s as a little tech, I play 2 Mastamon. I like Mastamon for a lot of reasons. One, I like the ability to, when you Digivolve into her for 4, and she can either be played in a yellow or a purple deck. When you Digivolve into her, both players take the top card of their security stack and delete it. So if your opponent, say your opponent has only 1 security left, you can Digivolve into this, get rid of that security, and, it might, be the deciding factor of the game if they don't have enough things to block you with. But so there's that. And then her other skill is, when she comes into play, you can play any level 4, you can play 1 purple or yellow level 4 Digimon from your trash without paying its cost. So for us, chances are you're going to just play Unionmon, your blocker, revive one of those, which is nothing to sneeze at. So she's good as a tech, in my opinion, even though Shinegreymon is, the star. Having Mastamon as a backup, or even something to sit next to him, is not a bad option. And then for the last 2 cards, we play 2 copies of Glorious Burst. In my Omnimon Red deck profile, I at first said that this might actually be the best option card in the game now, and then I took it back for one reason, simply because the difference between this and Gaia Force is Gaia Force can activate in security. If this card's flipped over in security, absolutely nothing happens. This card has a 9-play hard cost, but for every Tamer you have on board, its cost is reduced by 1. And then whenever you play it, you get to select one of your opponent's Digimon and subtract 12,000 DP from it. So that's going to kill quite a bit. If you... that can kill pretty much anything except Omnimon. but you can play it on a turn after you've pretty much nuked Omnimon down to little to nothing, and then play this for, if you're real fortunate and say you have like 5 Tamers on board, you can play this for 4 and just wipe the Omnimon off the board and not have to worry about it. So there's that. The only other thing that I want to test in this deck, the reason, there's a lot of things that this Mastamon could have been. Honestly, I might test set 1 Seraphimon. That was an option, but it was like the bottom of the barrel option. The next option that I really want to try is Kentarosmon. I really want to try Kentarosmon. I just don't have any. Simply for the fact that if he is deleted, you get to immediately blow 10 off one of your opponent's Digimon, so he does have that going for him. So I do want to try out Kentarosmon. I'm going to definitely try and get some of him. He's been a little hard to find, though, and even though he's been out for a while, so I'm hoping now with the release of set 1.5 that I might be able to get a hold of him now. But I will definitely test Kentarosmon in this deck. So anyway, that is my Shinegreymon deck profile, and it is, like I said, it's a lot of fun to play. This is probably one of the better decks that came out of set 1.5. It is having a creature that can come in and essentially wipe the board is definitely a plus. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave all your thoughts and comments below, and let me know what decks or colors that you want me to review in the future. I am looking at possibly next tackling either blue or purple. I just don't know which one. And I really want to build Imperial Dramon, but I don't know quite yet. So tell me what you guys want to see, and maybe that'll help me make the decision a little bit easier. So thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys next time.